Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And yesterday, the new core set for 2026 was announced, and well, Reddit said I'm the biggest winner out of everything with Shadow Step being removed. I was in a pretty good mood talking about that, wasn't I? I'm ready to see Hearthstone without that card, but I wanted to talk about a bit more in depth today about the best cards, basically leaving and entering. We're gonna go class by class, and then the neutrals. What will be the most impactful, at least in this idiot's opinion, that will be entering and leaving? Because I gotta say, the stuff that's leaving, way better than the stuff mostly that's entering. They are really trying, we've seen this for a while, scale things back, and also just maybe not have, you know, the core set dominate. Maybe let the new expansion stuff shine. We'll see if that works out. Who knows? But anyways, if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like. It helps the channel out a ton. I will say that Hearthstone subreddit was unbelievable yesterday with all the drama around mostly step, but just around the core set itself being pretty underwhelming with like, just delete this class at this point, showing the priest core set. But yeah, let's look more in detail. I think the most impactful leaving and entering will be for Deathlight. It's actually not the easiest thing to pick. I want to say Corpse Explosion, right? Because it's a really good clear, but if you think about it in the current meta game right now, you have Double Blood that runs typically just a copy, and then you have Double Unholy doesn't play it, and I guess Triple Blood does. I'd say Corpse Explosion's probably the most impactful, but honestly, I kind of want to go Stitch Giant, Double Blood, Double Unholy. They all play it, cheat it out, do a lot of good things. In the current meta game, it might be the most impactful, but I feel like Corpse Explosion on a long-term basis will be the most impactful card leaving. And then in terms of what they're getting, I'll go with Alexandros Mograine, the Triple Blood payoff of getting that extra damage. And if you think about Dios, you could actually combo it. Dios, Mograine, you'd have to have like Ysera active or whatever, and then you get double the damage of the battle cry, and then you'll get double the end of turn effect. So that could actually be a ton of damage just in one turn. And then of course, you know, for the rest of the game, it does even more. I also want to mention just Consumption is a possible pretty decent card. Killing two things, drawing cards, but seems a little bit finicky, a little bit more situational. But overall, as you could see, Mograine, even when it rotated, wasn't like super dominant or meta. It was just okay. It's very slow, but yeah, you can have the attrition. But again, with Vampiric Blood, another pretty impactful card going away, the incentive to playing Triple Blood is even less so. Probably not the most impactful card entering, but a lot of really strong Deathlight cards are leaving. For Demon Hunter, it's not even close. They're not losing very impactful cards for the most part, but Piercer is definitely the most impactful card they're losing, mainly because the Death Rattle stuff is doing so well right now with Blob of Tar, with Ravenous Fellhunter, whatever other Death Rattles come out throughout the year. Having this cheap tutor, the weapon is just nice to have active to attack. Super good card. It will definitely be sorely missed for Demon Hunter. And for the most impactful card, I actually can't look at my collection, would be the new Tichondrius, right? The 9 mana, 9/8 demon with your hero is immune, battle cry, your next demon this turn costs 0. I'm not sure if it'll be the most impactful card running it, but I just feel like the Eternal Hold, discovering this could be absolutely disgusting. Getting this out on like turn 5 with the coin or turn 6, and you have any other demon active, that's just super good. So definitely a spooky one, but overall the stuff they're getting is just not that amazing. But Demon Hunter is obviously in a really good spot with like 4 of the best 5 decks in standard at the moment, and they're keeping a lot of their good cards, so Demon Hunter shouldn't really have to worry. For Druid, the biggest omission or the biggest card they're losing is certainly Swipe. They've lost it before, and then it came back at 3 mana back in the day, you know, a few years ago. But yeah, this being in like spell damage decks, just board control, It's solid, but it's not like the end of the world. This doesn't go into like every Druid deck. It goes into some. It's all right, but it's not even like a nature spell for Imbued Druid and all of that. Greybow, honorable mention as well, because it has popped up here and there. But, you know, it's not the biggest loss of the world. But if we're looking at the cards they're getting, I guess I'll go with the Under King. It's got Rush. You get a bunch of armor. It could be okay, but all the Druid cards seem kind of bad. Like the new legendary Ulfar or whatever is like really slow and kind of win more, and everything else just sucks. So I'll say the most impactful card they're getting is the Under King, but overall it just feels like they're getting nothing and losing some decent cards. For Hunter, it's got to be Terror Scale Stalker, like the Death Rattle synergies that this card has had happen, whether it was like Starships or the new dual class quest, which you could proc the 5 mana card on. It's not good, but the strategy's there. I feel like it's the most impactful card leaving. Nothing else in this like set is really that impactful. And in terms of what they're gaining, it's actually pretty nuts if you take a look. Halazeta Lynx in the game right now is a 5 mana 3/2 with Battle Cry. Fill your hand with 1/1 Lynxes that have Rush. It's going to be buffed to 4 mana, have an extra attack, have Rush itself that's really good, and then on top of that, maybe it works well with the dual class quest. Maybe this is the card that works, you know, you fill your hand, then you empty it with your Mukla or whatever, or Maluk or whatever it's called, and then boom, you probably lose the game. But regardless, that's a pretty darn good card. You get a Rusher, you get a ton of tokens you can use. That just seems really good, and Hunter might actually have one of the more stronger actual potential upgrades to a core set compared to the other classes, which are mostly just strict downgrades. Mage's big loss, Arcane Artificer. This card has just been super good since they added it to the core set. Used to be a 1/2 quite a while ago, but giving Mage access to quite a bit of armor gain on a premium statted minion, elemental to boot. It's going to be sorely missed in those more control mage archetypes, and they're also losing what the miniaturized minion, right? That's through normal rotation. So all this insane armor gain that Mage has had, it's pretty much all gone. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. Primordial Glyph, by the way, honorable mention. And the best card that Mage is getting, First Flame's a great card. 1 mana, you deal 2 damage to a minion, you get another 1. There's sometimes fire spell synergies. Just a really good card that sees play off and on even while to this very day. Just really solid. And yeah, we got Deep Freeze now. Apparently it's 7 mana, but First Flame to me is probably going to see a good amount of play in standard throughout the next year. Paladin loses 2 pretty significant cards, and Nacronos has just been really solid in a lot of decks, especially for Elise and getting you to your Gelbin. But let's be real, the big one is Crusader Aura. So many people ecstatic that this card is left. It has been in standard since it was introduced as a core set replacement for Paladin Secrets. And yeah, like Aura Paladin right now is really solid, and this card's a big part of that. It's gone, so Aura Paladin will be knocked down a touch. But hey, maybe they'll get another Aura or something like that that will take its spot. You never know. And I think there's a good shot of it because they keep making more, and I don't imagine they're going to stop anytime soon. Honestly, Paladins, again, not getting a ton of amazing stuff. I'll mention Coghammer as like an honorable mention, but to me, Ivory Knight, it's a 4 mana 4/4. You get some healing out of it. You can get some value from a spell, maybe another Aura for your Aura Paladin or something like that. It might be all right. Maybe Battle Vicar, just discovering a holy spell, but overall, none of the Paladin cards really stand out. So I'll say the Ivory Knight, but overall, I wouldn't be surprised if most of these Paladin core set cards don't see much play, at least unless there's some like insane, really good synergy, because there's a lot of Divine Shield stuff going on. So maybe there's something with that. For Priest, it kind of comes down to Ship's Churchin. Like the Dragon stuff is always decent, or just aggro decks or tempo decks in Priest. It's still weird to say that, but that's been their focus for a while now. Control Priest is just always so bad. But yeah, I guess in that vein, like Thrive in the Shadows, just a really good card. It's not quite the discover a copy version out of your deck with Shadow Visions, but it's still been a very good card. And yeah, that leaving as well, pretty impactful. And Priest already did not have an amazing core set, and its additions, yeah, not amazing. But Thrive in the Shadows to me is probably the most impactful of the bunch that will be leaving. Honestly, I think the best card that Priest is getting added to the core set is Devouring Plague. The 3 mana shadow spell, lifesteal, deal 4 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. So it's a kind of a AoE effect. You're getting healing out of it. That's not bad. It's got the shadow tag for whatever that's worth. But even the new legendary Kali or whatever, like, unless there's a really specific thing I'm going to try and resurrect, which there really isn't, especially with Mothership rotating, I don't see that card being that impactful, but it could be, certainly if the right synergies come along with it. So there's two potential decent cards for Priest in the core set, but yeah, it's not looking good for that class. And I know I'm a Priest hater and all that, but it's hard to hate on a class that keeps getting dunked on with absolutely nothing to work with. Come on, Blizzard, give me a reason to hate on Priest again, all right? I mean, for Rogue, it's Shadow Step, obviously. Every deck plays Shadow Step. It is warped the Rogue design and class for ages and ages now, for 11 years. Finally, we can see what the game can be like with, you know, 2-mana Battlecry minions that aren't broken with Shadow Step. So that'll be really interesting to see what design space can be explored and how screwed Wild will be. But yeah, there's no other answer but Shadow Step. It's going to be really interesting to see, and I'm sure if Rogue struggles it all out the gate, the Rogue mages will be upset. But hey, you've been tier 1 for 11 years. Maybe it'll be adjustment period. But honestly, I think Rogue, even without Step, looks really strong going into next year with like Deja Vu, Nightmare Fuel, Ashen Maid. They got a lot of good stuff. They always have a lot of good stuff. But yes, they will not have Shadow Step unless they can discover Toki, and then Toki can find Shadow Step. And oh my god, I will get triggered. And in that vein, with wild spells, Shadow Demise being added is one of the best, if not the best card in the entire core set that's being added to the core set. So they saw Shadow Steps leaving. We're going to give them one of the best cards Rogue has ever had, where you just basically get an extra copy of whatever spell you would like. Maybe you got that Toki and you got a Shadow Step and you get another one. See, I'm going to find a way to complain about Shadow Step without it, you know, leaving. And even Spy Mistress is a nice little card, aggro card for Rogue to get added. So they lost arguably the best card in the core set, but they're also gaining arguably the best card in the core set. Also, shout out to Tess. I'm so sad Tess is leaving. That's such a bummer, but I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a return someday. Shaman, I guess I'll go Warlock here. It's mostly just an Elise activator right now, but it's really good with the copy and attack boost that comes with it. But Elise is getting nerfed apparently, so maybe that won't be that relevant anyways. Plus Hagatha Shaman and all that. There's just none of the cards leaving for Shaman are like the most crazy impactful. There's some staples that have been around for a while, but they don't see a ton of play or pretty middling. But Alakir, pretty iconic. One of the rare charge minions left in the core set leaving, and it is for the first ever time. I believe Alakir has been in the core set since day one, so pretty crazy an iconic card like that leaving as well. But you know, things have to change, and it's always a lot more exciting when that happens. The most impactful card, I think, coming back for Shaman in the core set is Healing Rain. This is just a great card. 3 mana, restore 12 health, randomly split among all friendly characters. It can heal up minions, heal your face. It's relatively cheap. Nature spell to boot. Saw tons of play when it was originally standard and has an amazing animation. I'm super happy to see this back. I also mentioned just Rhaegar Earth Fury, that new legendary, does seem really potentially strong, especially if a more token strategy becomes prevalent in Shaman, which we've seen a ton of times with like totem decks and whatever. Very good chance that could emerge in the next year or so, and just getting those lightning bolts can be a lot of burst, and if you don't kill this, it's just going to get more and more and more. So it's a card to look out for. But Healing Rain, it's already been tried and true that it's a good card, and still every once in a while pops up in Wild. So definitely a card Shaman will enjoy. For Warlock, it's not even close. Solarium, incredible card, basically goes into every Warlock deck. Drawing 3 cards, they're temporary. Sometimes that's a good thing for you, and just being able to get cheap draw to try and find something. Incredibly strong card. And if you play Wild, you also know it's incredibly strong there too, where discard is absolutely busted in Wild. Like, I feel like it's an evergreen statement at this point, But yeah, probably the most impactful one. The core set editions aren't amazing. I'm gonna go off the grid a little bit here and say Gnome will be the most impactful. Just cheap, can discard stuff. Maybe, well, there's not Brewmaster, you can't bounce it, but maybe it makes an impact as like a disruption option. And I'll give an honorable mention just to like Twisting Nether, right? Board clear, destroys locations, eh? Elise, look out, 8 mana counter. Amazing, but it destroys all locations, including your own, which I've figured out been on the wrong end of that a couple of times, making a mistake. And I'll even mention as well Archwitch Willow. You never know what demons can be released and cheat out. That could be pretty solid, but 8 mana these days, it's tough, but it could see some play. Warrior, it's obviously Brawl. It's a staple in Control Warrior, although not as much as you would think for some period of time, especially when that Shield Shatter card or whatever was meta, then Trial by Fire. Brawl wasn't even in Control Warrior. It wasn't good enough. There were better options. And yeah, lately Brawl has definitely been run again, but it isn't as like dominant as some board clears or like a Shadow Step, for example, has been in its entire run, but it's been there since day one. That ding ding is really iconic and will be sorely missed as somebody who loves Control Warrior. And the first time I ever hit rank 1 legend, yeah, was I had 2 copies of Brawl. I had 2 copies of Shield Slam, which is also leaving. So near and dear to my heart, but hey, I'm not going to throw a hissy fit because cards I like are leaving. It's just kind of fun to see what are we going to get next? What'll happen next? It's fun to try new things. Most impactful card Warrior is getting, I guess, is Wormhole Challenger. 3 mana, 1/10 Battle Cry, choose an enemy minion, battle it to the death. It was okay when it came out, and it's probably not going to be good enough, and they just literally got nothing. Like, I guess Sky Raider getting a pirate, that's okay. Like, that was a good card in like Pirate Warrior way back in the day, but yeah, Warrior got absolutely shafted. Like, at least Rogue got some good stuff in replacement for their good cards leaving. Warrior, not so much, but Warrior's also doing okay, although Quest Warrior without Brawl, that'll be an interesting experiment to say the least. For the most impactful card leaving for the like neutral set, there's quite a few options. None of them are like OP or anything. I'd go with Nomelia. Just having a neutral kind of board clear like this that can push some damage is just popped up a lot, especially as a 6 mana card for Elise is certainly relevant. Definite honorable mention to like Youthful Brewmaster, which the Fabled Hunter card all of a sudden doesn't seem nearly as bad anymore, right? They're losing the Discover copy stuff and Brewmaster. We might only get Sylvanas once a game. How about that? And I guess Vicious Slither Spear, just because it's a good, early game 1-drop for more aggressive effects. And Wisp, because if we don't get another neutral 0-drop, right, it will make activating Elise a lot more challenging coming up after rotation. The balance change of that card might have a lot to say about that too, but just having no 0 mana cost minion could be a big deal. But again, they could just be making a new one in the first set. We don't know that yet, so I just wanted to throw that out there. And yes, obviously, it's not even close. The strongest, most impactful card coming to the neutral core set is Mayor Noggenfogger, because if you're not aware, if you play this card, you can use the story emote yet again. And as a Canadian, that's just a big deal because we like to say sorry, okay? It's just what we do, eh? We play hockey, we say sorry, we drink a beer, it's all good. But for real, probably the most impactful card. Most of these really suck. Like the majority of the neutral cards are so bad that they're adding. I don't even know why they're adding them. Like Micro Machine and stuff. Like, what are we doing? But Small Time Buccaneer, right? Just a good rogue minion, neutral minion where you get +2 attack while you have a weapon equipped. But yeah, it's just not bad. It doesn't have patches to go with it, at least yet. Maybe it'll be a new patches, but yeah, 1 mana 3/2. This card was so good back in the day with patches. It was the only time in Hearthstone history since I started playing in Mean Streets I literally just took a break from the game. Then they nerfed this card and I came back. So I took a break for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks way back then. Oh my God. But it was this card that pissed me off because in Mean Streets, you were just dying to pirate decks. It was just, you couldn't play the game until they nerfed like Buccaneer and some stuff. Then I got a little bit better. So there you go. Kind of an idea of what we're looking at for like cards coming in, cards coming out in terms of the power level. And it really does feel like this core set set is way weaker than most in recent history. But we're going to see the biggest shakeup ever, right? So many staples leaving. The power level of the game has been like lowered so much that I feel like Hearthstone's going to be nearly unrecognizable after rotation. It just all depends, obviously, on what that first expansion will be, how strong it'll be, and I'm very excited to see what you guys think of that set, because I might have an idea, okay? And I'm really excited. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.